Hi, I'm Billy, and today we are cooking. In case you don't know what we're cooking, today's meal of choice is going to be chicken stir fry, homemade, from scratch, without a recipe. Hopefully, I still know how to make it because I used to make this all the time, and I feel like eating it tonight. So, I hope you're ready to see this goose work her magic. Also, if you notice, my nails are a little weird. I didn't have time to file them before stream. I had just enough time to put on press-ons because I bite my nails and they're a little ugly. But who's ready? Now, I'm going to start with the chicken, and I'm going to cut the chicken on this cutting board, and then I'm going to bring this cutting board over and cut the vegetables on this one. Just because I don't want to be yelled at for cross-contamination. You know what I mean? And this cutting board's nice because it has this ridge, so if there's any gross juices, it'll be collected so I can easily get rid of it. So we have here a bag of lovely, delicious chicken thighs. Because, you know, and this we're thigh people in this house, so boobies are nice, but the thighs are where it's at. And I'm probably going to start by cutting off a lot of the excess. And we are going to remove at least this layer of fat very carefully. If you pull the fat away, you can kind of slice down the fat. That's at least how I do it, to try to take as little meat but as much fat off as possible. For this one, that's going to be easier because the side's like all fat. Very carefully. Warning, knives are sharp. If you try this at home and you stab yourself, it is not my fault. And then I can slide my knife through there. Get rid of that. I also made the rice already, so that does save us one additional step. I think that's probably all the fat we're going to actually worry about. Yeah. I know fat is flavor though, so I don't want to take all the fat. And we want to chop these up into like maybe 1/2-inch cubes. I think that's what we're going to go for, 1/2 inch. Looks like a vein popped in my chicken. Wonderful. So like relatively small because I want to fry them up quickly. Those are a little bit bigger than my last slices, but that's probably more accurate to like what size I should be cutting it, to be honest. But we're trying here, you know? The sauce is where this meal shines anyways. I have so many things over on my cart. You'll be excited to see some of the ingredients I have. I came prepared today. I've got my cart of seasonings and utensils. I've got my cooler of meats and frozens, and I've got some fresh produce. We're cooking for real this time and not just breakfast. We might have like a very big stir fry. That is the one thing with stir fries, I always end up cooking way more than I intend. You should try to curl your hands like in like this when you're cutting so that you don't, you know, accidentally chop off your tips. Try to curl your hands. It's a little hard with nails, but as much as you can. Oh, my nail just fell off, so we're gonna roll without it. That's so sad. I just put those on. That's okay. We have the rest of our nails. Let's see how many I lose by the end of this. And, you know, it's not very sanitary, but we're just going to wipe our hands before moving on. I don't have a sink in here. And you know what? If I accidentally poison myself, it happens. There are worse things than salmonella. So now that we have chicken, I have a skillet, and I am going to heat it up and put some oil in it with a little bit of vegetable oil. This is a dangerous game I'm playing. It's probably fine. So we're going to put this in here so that I can move on to the next thing while our pan heats up. Wipe our hands. I'll sanitize everything after too. I never claimed that I held myself to human food and safety standards. So now these are contaminated though, clearly. Like they're covered in meat stuffs. I'm going to go over here with these. And this is probably almost good. We're going to spread that oil around. Probably honestly hot enough. This thing gets pretty hot pretty quickly. Yeah, hear that sizzle. And we are gonna let that go for a little bit. I'm gonna put it at like a medium-high heat because I do want to cook other things. I didn't grab a spoon, rest. I do this to myself. This. We're also gonna give our chicken a hint of MSG because it's delicious. We're gonna add some garlic, and by some, I mean quite a bit of garlic. A little bit of onion. And I like to use celery salt. You can probably use whatever salt you have, but I like to use celery salt. Just gives a touch of a little bit of something, you know? And you don't need that much salt because we did use the MSG, and it kind of acts like a salt enhancer in my opinion. go light with the salt because you are going to use a lot of soy sauce later. So while that's cooking, I am going to show you how I handle peppers. Snap the stem off. Slide your chicken to the side. I like to cut these right down the sides, all the way trying to follow the little ridges of the pepper. And then I just tear it apart with my bare hands. Like a god. We'll get rid of that. And then again, just rip it out with your bare hands. Scoop it off the table. Should stir this chicken a little bit. And I have a bowl for when this is done cooking so then we can add the veggies to the pan, but have that chicken flavor from the pan in there. We're gonna cut off some of that white stuff. Also, never use your knife like I'm using my knife because you probably will stab yourself and then try to blame me. And I'm gonna be like, nah, brah, I told you, don't do that. Don't be like me. Do as I say, not as I do. Because this is probably not the best way to do this. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm skilled. And then we're just gonna slice these into more manageable to cook pieces. We will be cooking these ones with our frozens. Honestly, a lot of these vegetables have a high water content. They might get cooked at the same time. Trying to also not get burned from this hot oil in this pan that's just like splattering on me. It's like, rah. And we've only lost one nail so far, so it's fine. It's fine. Everything's going great. I honestly am surprised that I've only lost one. And like I said, curl your fingers when you're cutting so you don't accidentally slice. We curl. You might be thinking, Billy, that's a lot of peppers. Why, yes, it is. I like peppers. But I might freeze some of these. I don't know yet. Okay. The chicken just needs a couple more minutes. It is cooking quick because it's a stir fry and that's how it cooks. And it'll probably be good up for peppers. And then I'm going to put these ones in a Ziploc because I don't need the whole. I also grabbed a giant Ziploc so I can just put whatever veggies in here and make something else with the spares later. We'll cut the onion next. I'm a pro at cutting onions. I rarely cry. But let's see. Let's see if you guys can get me to cry while cutting onions. So I did pick up some bean sprouts because I love good bean sprouts. I love baby corn. And this one was pre-cut and I was like, that's convenient. You know, I don't want to have to cut everything. And then water chestnuts. Ooh, and mushrooms. And I have broccoli and onion. And I think that's it. But I'm going to make my own sauce too. But don't you worry. It's going to be delicious. Okay, this chicken is looking about ready to be taken out of the pan. I was smart enough to grab the tongs. Oh, look at me go. I'm such a smart, amazing goose. Look at me do it. Succeeding in life and at stir fry. And you might be thinking, Billy, that chicken looks bland as hell. How are you gonna make this taste good? And that's when I tell you. The secret's in the sauce. The secret is in the sauce. But for now, we have bland chicken that is gonna sit in my office chair because I don't have a better place to put it right now. And that's fine. That's fine. So we're gonna leave the pan kind of heating up. I'm gonna move it to the side a little more and cover it so that, but I don't want to put everything in yet. I could maybe put the broccoli. You know what? Let's put the broccoli in the pan. We'll put the broccoli in the pan. Let me grab it from the cooler. Now, I know you're not supposed to show brands and stuff in your streams, but I am sorry. I cannot avoid showing mine, or I buy everything store brand because I don't buy brands. Okay, so we're gonna probably do like a few stalks of broccoli. I do like the broccoli the best. And now that that's in the pan, we can work on cutting our onion because the broccoli needs to kind of reach a similar temperature to all the room temp things for them to cook at the same rate. If you've never cut an onion before, here's Billy's pro tip for cutting an onion. You start by cutting it straight down the center. To the best of your ability, at least. So then, after you do that, you only cut off one end. If you need to, you can score this first layer, like I'm about to do, in order to peel that first layer or two, depending on how old and gross your onion is. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You, with this part of your hand, you rest it. And you try to be as flexible with your fingers, okay? They need to be like, I don't know, the Russian gymnast team. They have to be flexible, right? You put your hand like that, and you slice into the onion very carefully. Let me find my line again because I totally missed it. And this can be a little hard to get it. You don't want to have too much of your hand around, and you also don't want to cut all the way through. That's actually one of the more important parts, is don't cut all the way through. And then I'm going to go like this, and honestly right through that first score line that I made. And bada bing, bada boom. Perfectly cut onion. Maybe not perfectly because I did a bad example, but you know what I mean. They're all in and around the same size. I think I'm only gonna do half an onion here. This is a core, and I'm gonna take that out though, because that's literally just where it would stem from if we let it grow in the ground. And that too, like, ew. Normally I would save these in a Ziploc bag in my freezer and make stock with them and like rotisserie chicken bones. But I've made a lot of soup lately and I have no interest. So I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to throw my extra, like the garbage part you don't eat, in the trash this time instead of saving my garbage. But I think that's enough onions and peppers. And I do like the size. I like mine to be a little bit thicker. So let's bring this pot or pan back over here. Get it turned back up on high. And we can start adding our veggies. So I'm going to add these ones first. I also have my little, like, whatever you call this, in case we have too much water in the pan, I can remove some of it so it's not going to get, like, grody. I didn't add nearly as much broccoli as I did other veggies, but it's fine. All of my broccoli is on that side of the pan. So, oh no, I lost another nail! It's okay, I found it. It fell off on my hand, but why is it my left hand? You'd think it'd be my right hand, if anything, but this side is going strong. Okay, whatever. I digress. In order to not lose more nails, we're going to open our cans like just girly things. Stick your finger in the loop and boom, we got baby corn. Now, I don't have anywhere good to drain this liquid. Gonna drain this into the tub of plastic. The same one that I used to do my goose makeover in my sink. And we're just gonna throw some corn in there. We're gonna do the same thing with the bean sprouts. Get that tab up without hurting my fingers. Bean sprouts. I feel like you're supposed to rinse bean sprouts. I could be wrong. I'm not doing it. They're just going straight in the pan. Water chestnuts. And we're going to throw like half of this can of water chestnuts in there. And then I'm going to move this to the side and cover it with a lid. And I probably should be using a different spatula to give this stir with, because I did use this for chicken. But we determined geese don't play by human food and safety rules. So, no. Okay, while that's cooking, we are going to prepare the ingredients for our sauce. Okay, and that is at about 350 degrees, in case anybody's wondering at what temperature I'm cooking everything. Now it's probably a good time to show you my rice that I've already pre-prepared. I'll get some veggie juice off of here before I move this. I have rice. It's ready to go. You can kind of see that the pan boiled over when I was making rice because I always set my temperature too high, but hopefully it's not stuck to the bottom. I don't know, but it's got like a nice stick to it, and I'm very excited. Finally made my rice right. So, for our sauce, no surprise, it's going to have a soy sauce base. I don't have much soy sauce left in this container, so we're gonna have to open the big boy container of Kikkoman soy sauce. As you can see, there's not too much left in this bottle, and we're gonna need more than that. We're gonna open her up. Use our spoon to pry out this little nubby thing. We don't need her. And glug glug. And that's only a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. So yeah, we are going to have to open the big boy. I don't think I'm gonna refill this bottle. I have enough room in my fridge for this bigger one. I'm gonna do about a half, I don't know, maybe more like a 1/3 cup of soy sauce for now. We can always add more soy sauce. That's not the problem. The problem is sometimes this ends up being a little too salty for me. So I'll add like a little bit, like a splash of chicken broth, because that's somehow less salty than soy sauce. I forgot to add mushrooms. Okay, I'll add mushrooms next time. I got enough veggies going on in there. So that is the first ingredient. The next ingredient in my stir-fry sauce, brown sugar. I prefer, oh, why do I have the light one? I thought I grabbed the dark one. Whatever, we can add molasses because I did bring molasses because sometimes my brown sugar isn't brown sugary enough. And fun fact, brown sugar is just sugar with molasses added back to it. Then we have sesame seeds to top with as well. But we have some honey granules. Fun fact, as a kid I used to eat spoonfuls of molasses and I turned out fine, so you can eat that raw. I have some sesame oil. I've got 2 forms of ginger, diced, and I've got powdered. I'll grab the diced ginger and garlic in a minute. Then we got some onion, we've got some garlic, we've got some cayenne, we've got fish sauce, and then we got garlic and ginger. So we are gonna give this a stir, and I will bring it back over in a sec to show you. Normally you don't have to cover stir fry all the time, at least it depends on what vegetables you have, but for these ones, I think to really heat them through, the cover has been helpful. The key to stir fry though is frequent stirring, but I'll show you what they look like right now. So far, at least the veggies. We've got some beautiful bean sprouts, onions, water chestnuts, baby corn, peppers. Oh, I wish I added carrot because I feel like carrot would have been a really pretty color to add to this. We're eating the rainbow. Look at this! And it's all technically going to be one pan. But I'll show you my proportions and stuff in a minute once this is done. I do think I didn't grab a fork, so I don't know if they're fork tender. What about, are they chopstick tender? I don't want my broccoli to be mush. Okay, I can see that there's a little bit of bend on that, and I do like that. I am going to reheat everything together again in the pan just to get all the flavors meldy. But yeah, I think that is okay to now dump into my giant bowl of chicken. So we're going to start with our soy sauce, and we're already going to need more, I can tell. We're going to turn this heat down a little bit, probably to about, I don't know, what would be low. Yeah, I think we're going to use some chicken stock because I don't want a fully soy sauce broth. I'm just going to use a little bit. It's also going to help with the evaporation because this will probably burn off a little faster than the soy sauce. What's next, Billy? What's next is we're going to see if we have to end up using the brown sugar or not. Oh no! Another nail. Another nail bites the dust. Oh wait, I'm not even opening the right thing. I was opening sesame seeds. I want to open up the granulated honey. And I want to pour just a bunch of that in there. And then I want to open up the garlic, but not the powdered garlic. I want my diced garlic. And we're going to throw a big old spoon of that in there, right? And then we're going to wipe off that spoon because we are respectful of our ginger, and that's the only cross-contamination that I care about because I don't want it to go bad. A decent amount of ginger, probably like that much. We are adding a lot of sweet stuff, so we want to be careful we don't make it too sweet. And now maybe give that a little bit of a stir so that the honey and sugar flakes don't get all gross. Open that fish sauce. And I give a couple shakes. I did not add onion yet, so we're going to add some. I actually kind of like to pour it in the lid to the side so that steam doesn't cake up my spices. We're going to add some sesame. I want to add cayenne, but I think I have an open one over here. So we're just going to go ham with that. And molasses, last but not least, but definitely slowest. If I can open it. Oh my god. Come on. Open. Oh, I have a silicone mat right here. Maybe this will work. Ugh. Yes! Oh my gosh. I'm a strong, independent goose. I don't need no man. I don't need no man. Look at that. I'm a strong, independent goose. So now we're going to take some of this molasses. Probably about a spoonful. And then we're going to eat the rest. It's really good. And you're probably going to think I'm crazy if you ever try a spoonful of molasses because nobody likes what I like. But we got a nice sauce started. Trying to think if I forgot anything. And don't forget, it's very important to taste your sauce. Ooh. I think I need a little bit of brown sugar. Wait, let me go back in. Let me go back in. Really get some sauce on there. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it the way it is. I'm not going to add more sugar. It could be a little sweeter. But honestly, I think if I go any sweeter, it might be too sweet for anybody else to enjoy. I like sweet things. So now we can add back in our chicken and vegetables, which were both in the same bowl as of this point.
and hope that we didn't make a terrible ratio. Okay, well that marinates. I can honestly probably even turn that off. Get all those flavors combined in a delicious and amazing and fabulous, like me, of course. And we can also get a bowl ready for when we're done cleaning all this mess up. Let's see, also we're gonna give this a little stir. Open sesame, okay. I mean, all things considered, I think we have a beautiful stir fry here. I don't know how authentic it is, to be honest. I don't know my things, but I know it's delicious and it tastes pretty freaking good. So I do hope you give this recipe a try if you can remember anything that I did, because I sure as hell don't. Look at that. Look at that beautiful. I should have added more broccoli. That is like the one downfall of this. We've got our bowl. I'll back you up a little bit. It's just part of the pepper. I did not fluff my rice when I was done, and that might have been a mistake. 2 spoons of rice. Don't worry, all this rice will get eaten between today and tomorrow. Some of this delicious veggies. And I want one more pepper. And I mean, if you wanted, you could also scoop out some extra sauce from the bottom, but I think I'm all right on that front. And my thing is off, so I can unplug it. And hey, we didn't knock out the power this time. Time for the ultimate test. Please do not make fun of my chopsticks. I'm not very good at dexterity sometimes, so, you know, I'm learning, but in the meantime, so I don't embarrass myself, I did pick up my chopsticks that I got in Disney. My baby chopsticks. Oh my god, that's so good. That's so good. That's delicious. Oh my goodness. Well, this is a successful dinner that seems like it takes a lot to make, but you can really like replace 90% of it. The key is cook your meat separately, but in the same pan, cook your vegetables. Make your sauce. It could be a store-bought sauce. They also make like packets of stir-fry sauce mix, which are pretty good. I collected my like fish sauce and sesame oil, sesame seeds. I buy like 1 or 2 of those types of things every time I go to the grocery store because they can get expensive if you're buying everything at once. Okay, you know what we can do? I'm gonna show you how I store my leftovers. So you're probably thinking, Billy, that's a lot of food for one person. These silicone molds, right? And you throw them in the freezer. What I do is I'll probably only need 1 of these. I take and I fill them. And I make sure that I don't like squeeze too much of the juice out because the juice is important to help freeze it solid. But I figure by freezing it this way, it's really easy to heat back up. You just throw them in a pan, cover it with a lid, and then let it go until it all breaks up, and then pan fry it until you're content. Really, it looks a lot harder than it seems, and the fact that I manage this without a recipe means you can too. Eventually, you can master this recipe. You can tailor it to your own. Everybody has made their own version of stir fry since whatever. I learned how to make mine in middle school. So there's no reason you can't cook yourself something nice and something relatively healthy. If a goose can do it, you can do it. Don't be silly. Be a silly goose. And then once you've filled it to your heart's content, there is a little lid that just pops on right here. Oh my gosh! We're down another nail. The last that we have 1 hand of nails. Yeah, this is nice and packaged up to go in my freezer for the next like hour or 2, and then once it's solidified, I'll bag it up. I'm gonna eat a couple more bites of this, and then I think I'm gonna head out for the day. But I had a really fun time, and I really hope you did too. And I hope you think that this looks delicious and amazing. Have a good one. Bye!